Welcome to True Life Lessons, where we share inspiring stories that will touch your heart and change your perspective completely today. In a small, quiet village lived a young poor boy named Rohan, who shared a modest home with his loving widowed mother. Their most valuable possession was an old, gentle buffalo named Gori, who provided them with just enough milk to survive every day. Life was undeniably tough for them, but Rohan always tried to keep a bright smile on his face despite the daily struggles. His mother worked tirelessly from dawn until dusk, hoping to give her precious son a slightly better life in this harsh world. One sunny morning, the mother carefully milked Gori, filling a large clay jug to the brim with fresh, warm and creamy milk. She gently handed the heavy jug to Rohan, instructing him to go to the bustling market and sell the milk for money. She promised him that with the earned coins, he could finally buy that beautiful blue shirt he had wanted for so long. She also mentioned he could buy some sweet candies, making Rohan jump with immense joy and excitement for the upcoming market trip. Rohan carefully balanced the clay jug on his small shoulders, waving goodbye to his mother as he started his long journey ahead. The dusty village road was long and winding, but Rohan walked with a light, energetic step, thinking about his wonderful future rewards. He completely lost himself in sweet daydreams, vividly imagining how handsome he would look wearing that bright blue shirt in the village. He could almost taste the delicious sugary candies melting in his mouth, bringing a huge, joyful smile to his young, innocent face. Because he was so distracted by his wonderful fantasies, he did not notice a large, sharp rock sticking out of the dirt. Suddenly, his foot caught the hard rock, sending him stumbling forward helplessly as the heavy clay jug slipped from his tiny hands. Time seemed to slow down dramatically as the fragile jug hit the unforgiving ground, shattering into dozens of sharp, broken clay pieces. The precious white milk quickly spilled everywhere, soaking into the dry, thirsty earth until nothing was left but a large, muddy puddle. Rohan stared at the disaster in absolute shock, his heart pounding heavily in his chest as the harsh reality finally hit him. He immediately dropped to his knees, burying his face in his small, trembling hands, and began to cry bitterly over the loss. He felt like the absolute unluckiest boy in the entire world, completely overwhelmed by deep sadness, heavy guilt, and terrible, crushing despair. All of his mother's incredibly hard work had just been destroyed in a single, careless second because of his foolish, silly daydreams. He sobbed uncontrollably, wondering how he could ever face his loving mother again after making such a terrible, costly, and foolish mistake. The dream of the blue shirt and sweet candies had vanished entirely, replaced only by a profound sense of failure and sorrow. He sat there in the dirt for a long time, refusing to move, letting his hot tears mix with the spilled milk. At that very moment, a wise old man named Madav was slowly walking down the exact same dusty path toward the village. Madav stopped and quietly observed the weeping boy, looking at the shattered clay jug and the messy puddle of ruined white milk. He gently approached Rohan, placing a warm, comforting hand on the boy's shaking shoulder to silently offer a little bit of peace. Rohan looked up through his blurry, tear-filled eyes, seeing the kind, deeply wrinkled face of the wise old man standing above him. Madav softly asked the boy a very simple, yet profoundly awakening question that immediately made Rohan stop and think about his situation. "How long do you plan to sit here and cry over this unfortunate accident on the dirt road, my dear young boy? Do you truly believe that all your endless tears will magically make the broken clay jug whole again in front of you? Will your loud, painful sobbing somehow gather the spilled milk from the dirt and completely refill the shattered container right now today?" Rohan sniffled quietly, wiping his wet cheeks, and slowly shook his head, finally realizing the absolute truth in the old man's words. Madav smiled gently, sitting down beside the boy to share a highly valuable lesson about dealing with sudden failures and unexpected losses. "My child, mistakes and unfortunate losses are exactly like this spilled milk. They are things we simply cannot reverse or magically undo. When you inevitably fall down in life, the real failure is not the fall itself, but choosing to stay helplessly down. You must find the inner courage to stand back up, wipe away your tears, and actively figure out what to do next. Sitting here crying will never feed your mother, but taking positive action right now might actually help you fix this terrible situation. Rohan listened very carefully, feeling a sudden surge of determination replacing the heavy despair that had completely paralyzed his young, fragile heart. He bravely wiped the remaining tears from his face, took a deep breath, and finally stood up on his own 2 feet. He respectfully thanked the wise old man for his incredibly helpful advice and quickly started running toward the noisy, crowded village market. Instead of returning home empty-handed and feeling utterly defeated, Rohan decided he would work extremely hard to earn some money today anyway. When he finally reached the busy marketplace, he immediately began asking various stall owners if they needed any help with their chores. At first, many busy merchants simply ignored the small boy, but his persistent, eager attitude eventually caught the attention of a grocer. The kind grocer agreed to pay him a few small coins if he helped carry several heavy sacks of fresh vegetables inside. Rohan worked with incredible focus and intense dedication, ignoring the burning sweat pouring down his forehead and his deeply aching, tired muscles. He lifted crates, swept dusty floors, and ran quick errands for anyone who was willing to pay him a tiny copper coin. Every time he felt exhausted, he quickly remembered the spilled milk and the old man's powerful words about standing up and fighting. By the time the golden sun began to set, Rohan had successfully earned a small handful of shiny coins through pure effort. It was certainly not enough money to buy the beautiful blue shirt or the sweet, delicious candies he had originally dreamed about. However, it was definitely enough to buy a modest bag of white rice and some fresh, healthy vegetables for his waiting mother. He proudly held the bag of food tightly to his chest, feeling an immense sense of genuine accomplishment and true inner strength. As he walked back home under the beautiful twilight sky, he felt much older and significantly wiser than he had this morning. He realized that life would inevitably bring many unexpected challenges, but his personal reaction to them was the only thing that mattered. When he finally reached his small house, his mother was standing anxiously at the wooden door, waiting for her beloved son's return. Rohan bravely told her the entire truth about the broken jug, the spilled milk, and his brief moment of absolute, crushing despair. He also passionately explained the incredibly wise lesson he learned from old Madav and how he worked tirelessly at the busy market. He then gently handed her the bag of rice and fresh vegetables, looking deeply into her eyes with sincere, heartfelt, genuine apologies. Instead of being angry about the lost milk, his loving mother smiled warmly and pulled him into a very tight, comforting embrace. She was incredibly proud of his remarkable maturity and the immense courage he showed by completely turning a terrible failure into success. "You have learned something far more valuable than a blue shirt today, my brave son," she whispered softly into his dark hair. The simple story of Rohan teaches us all a universal truth about effectively handling our own personal mistakes and sudden, unexpected failures. We all have moments where we metaphorically spill our milk, destroying our carefully made plans and shattering our most cherished, beautiful dreams. It's completely natural to feel sad, frustrated, and totally overwhelmed when things suddenly go wrong in our complicated, unpredictable daily lives. However, choosing to remain stuck in that dark pit of regret will never help us move forward or magically fix our problems. True strength is not found in living a perfectly flawless life, but in finding the courage to rise after a painful fall. Every single mistake offers us a unique opportunity to learn, grow, and become significantly stronger than we were just a day before. Action is the only known cure for deep regret, and taking positive steps forward will always conquer the heavy burden of failure. So the next time you face a sudden setback, remember young Rohan and his brave decision to wipe away his sad tears. Stand up tall, face your difficult challenges head on, and actively work toward creating a much better, brighter future for yourself and others. Never let a temporary stumble define your entire journey, because your true potential is always waiting just beyond your most difficult moments. Keep pushing forward with unwavering hope, knowing that every single effort you make will eventually lead you toward ultimate success and happiness. We hope this touching story inspires you to always look for the bright side and never give up on your beautiful dreams. Thank you so much for joining us on this incredible journey of growth, resilience, and finding true meaning in our daily struggles. Thank you for watching True Life Lessons. Remember to keep moving forward, stay positive, and we will see you next time today.